Every millionaire, every billionaire, every successful creators you have heard of, they all have one thing in common. They created value. Not noise, not trends, not hype, value. Something that genuinely improved people's life. Made their world easier, faster, better, or more meaningful. The internet made it look like money appears from nowhere. But money is only a byproduct of value. You don't get paid for dreaming big. You get paid for solving problems. Think about it. The farmer grows food. The teacher shares knowledge. The coder builds tool. The artist creates emotion. The bigger the value you create, the bigger is the reward you receive. That's the unspoken rule of wealth. Money follows value. A millionaire is not someone who found a shortcut. They are someone who found a need and dedicated their life to fulfilling it better than anyone else. It doesn't matter if you are running a billion-dollar company or a small store. The principle is same. The moment you stop asking how can I make more money and start asking how can I serve better, your path begins to change. Because the world always rewards those who made it better. So if you want to build wealth, don't chase the money. Build the skill, build the value, build something that truly matters. Because when you give the world something valuable, it gives you something priceless in return. The foundation of wealth isn't greed, it's value, it's contribution, it's impact. Everything else is just decoration. We all love the idea of quick success. The story where someone went from nothing to millionaire in a few months. The 19-year-old who made it. The viral business that exploded overnight. But what we don't see is the years behind that night. The unseen hours, the failed projects, the silent days where nothing worked, the doubt, the frustration, the persistence. Wealth takes time because value takes time. It takes years to master it. It takes years to understand the markets, people and systems. And it takes years to turn that understanding into impact. That's why most people quit before they even begin, because they expect the results of tens of years in 1 month. Building wealth is like planting a tree. At first, nothing happens. You water, you wait. No signs of growth, just dirt. But underground, the roots are forming. Invisible progress is happening, and then one day it breaks through. And that's what wealth truly looks like. Long periods of silence, followed by sudden visible success. The truth is, success doesn't come fast because you need time to become the person who can handle it. If you gave $1 million to someone who hasn't built the discipline to earn it, they will lose it in months. That's not bad luck, that is unreadiness. Money without maturity destroys. Wealth without wisdom disappears. That's why time is not your enemy. It's your training partner. The real reward of taking the long road isn't just the money. It's who you become along the way, the patience you build, the strength you gain, the clarity you earn. Every day you stay consistent. You're not just building a business, you're building yourself. So if your dream feels far away, don't rush them. They're supposed to take time. The long road isn't just a punishment. It's the only road that leads somewhere real. We have all heard the quote, work hard and you will succeed. But that's not entirely true. Because in reality, the world doesn't reward effort. It rewards effectiveness. You can work 12 hours a day and still stay broke if your work isn't creating real value. Hard work without direction is like running on a treadmill. You burn energy, but you don't move forward. Skill is what gives your effort direction. It's what turns energy into impact. That's why two people can work equally hard, but one becomes a millionaire while the other stays stuck. The difference isn't effort, it's leverage. It's knowing how to use knowledge, creativity, and systems to multiply the value of your time. Ford didn't get rich from lifting cars, he built systems. Jobs didn't get rich from typing faster, he created design value. Musk didn't get rich from working more hours. He solved bigger problems. They used their skill to amplify their work, and that's the difference between the worker and the builder. If hard work was all it took, every laborer would be rich. But they are not. Not because they are lazy, but because they were never taught the one truth schools rarely teach. Skill builds wealth. Efforts just sustains it. So instead of just working harder, work smarter. Learn the skills that the world needs. Skills that solve problems, save time, create joy, or make life better. Because the person who knows how to create impact will always be more valuable than the ones who just work harder. Hard work builds discipline, but skill builds destiny. And when both combine, that's when wealth begins to follow you. Success doesn't happen overnight. It happens little by little, day by day, choice by choice. But because those changes are so small, most people never notice their power. That power is called compounding. Compounding is the quiet force that multiplies small actions into massive result. It's how 1 hour of learning each day turns into expertise in a few years. It's how saving a small amount of money becomes wealth over decades. It's how daily discipline becomes lifelong freedom. It's not magic, it's math. But it feels like magic because so few people stick around long enough to see it works. In the beginning, nothing seems to move. You are putting in the effort, but the results are invisible. This is where most people quit. But what they don't realize is that compounding works silently. It hides its progress until suddenly it doesn't. One day, everything clicks. All the late nights, all the disciplines, all the learning, it starts to pay off, all at once. That's not luck, that's compounding. Every skill you practice, every dollar you save, every book you read, every healthy choice you make, it all stacks up quietly behind you. And when time adds its weight, your small efforts becomes unstoppable momentum. Compounding doesn't just build wealth, it builds you. It revives your habits. It shapes your destiny. It teaches you patience. Because when you commit to small, consistent improvements, you stop chasing outcomes and start trusting time. Remember, big results come from boring consistency. It's not about what you do once in a while, but what you do every single day. The future isn't built in a moment. It's built in 1,000 quiet repetitions. And when those efforts compound, the world will call it success. But you will know it was just time and patience finally showing their results. Fear. It's a word we have been all taught to fear. From childhood, we are told that failure means you're not good enough, that it's shameful, that it's the opposite of success. But here's the truth. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's a part of it. Edison failed thousands of times before he created the light bulb. Rowling was rejected 12 publishers before Harry Potter was printed. Musk rockets exploded more than once before SpaceX finally succeeded. They didn't avoid failure, they used it. Failure is the world's most honest teacher. It doesn't define you, it doesn't lie you. It simply tells you, this didn't work, try again smarter. That's how progress is born, not through perfection, but through iterations. The only real failure is quitting too early. Every other mistake is just data, information that shapes your next step. When you learn to see failures as feedback, you remove its power to break you. Each time you fall and stand back up, you're not starting over, you're starting wiser. The pain of failure builds strength, the humility of mistakes builds wisdom, and the patience it teaches builds resilience. These are invisible foundations that every real success stands on. So the next time you fail, don't hide it, study it, ask yourself, what did this teach me that success never could? Because sometimes the lessons that hurt are the ones that transform you forever. Failure isn't the end of your journey, it's the beginning of your evolution. Every time you fall forward, you're one step closer to the person you are meant to become. Wealth isn't just about numbers in a bank. It's not just cars, houses, or success stories. Real wealth begins long before the money arrives, and it's built inside you. Every successful person you admire has one thing in common: they mastered their inner game. They learned the patience when the results didn't come fast. They practiced discipline when motivation disappeared. And they protected their vision when nobody else could see it. You can't build long-term wealth with a short-term mindset. If you chase instant rewards, you will always trade your future for the present. But if you master patience, you give your dreams the time to grow. Discipline is what separates dreamers from builders, because there will be days you don't feel like doing the work. Days where progress feels invisible, but you still show up, not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. That is discipline. And over time, it turns ordinary people into extraordinary forces. But the third ingredient, vision, is the compass that guides it all. Without vision, patience becomes waiting. Without vision, discipline feels like a punishment. Vision gives you struggle meaning. It's what keeps you walking when everyone else stops. Real wealth isn't just about how much you make. It's about who you become in the process of making it. It's the peace that comes from the purpose, the strength that comes from the persistence, and the wisdom that comes from walking your path, not someone else. Money will come and go, trends will rise and fade, but patience, discipline, and vision, those are the wealth that no economy can touch. Build those, and no matter where you start, you will never be poor again.